Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Baliga Afan, and I welcome to connect with Baliga Afan IU sessions. We are here at Islamic University in Uganda, North Campus Kabuja, and let me take this opportunity to remind you that we are still admitting students in all courses. We have low weekend course and day evening. We have diploma in nursing direct, you have diploma in nursing extension, you have diploma in midwifery direct, and you have diploma in midwifery extension, plus all the certificates. So you can apply, you can go online, or you can text your results on +2567047047369. Tonight we are going to talk about the financial crisis, and with me is a financial specialist, Mr. Kidaziad, and we are looking at what the organizations should do to remain financially stable during this financial crisis and maybe after. You're welcome to connect with Baliga Afan, and please, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, the viewers and Mr. Afan.
Yeah.
I'm known by names Kidaziad, senior accountant, Islamic University in Uganda Females Campus. I salute you.
Okay. It's been a long time since you last talked about how people should really manage cash during the financial crisis, and I've been getting calls asking for your number, and even I think they have subscribed to your YouTube channel to get to see. It's called Kidaziad. Yeah, you can also subscribe to his YouTube channel that you can get to know more information about it. I want us to look at what should organizations do to remain financially stable during this financial crisis, maybe even after.
Thank you very much. Now we know very well that COVID-19 has created the financial problems, but currently that organization experiencing financial distress, they will experience more problems after the lockdown again. So, if we are a financial manager currently, what are we expected to do to ensure that you remain financially visible during and what? And after the lockdown. So, we expect now the financial managers to build what we call a financial model. To come up with what? A new financial model. Or to involve themselves into financial modeling.
Yeah.
So if we are talking of financial model, we are mainly having or trying to establish an analytical summary of the cash inflows and the cash outflows to ensure that you calculate the future decisions correctly. So as you develop a model of operation currently, it will help you to manage your finances well during this period and then after.
Do we have specific people for that?
We expect all accountants to know how do we draft the financial, how do we build a financial model. So building a financial model, it is like you are changing the system of operation, the way you have been operating, and then how are you going to operate financially, because it involves many aspects, procedures we are going to look at, the financial questions we are going to see, which financial question do you expect to be analyzed within this model, which financial decisions do we expect managers to look at within this model, and then what are we supposed to look at. Obviously, in this model, we are looking at the cash inflows and the cash what? The cash outflows. For the inflows, we are more especially concentrating on the sourcing.
How you're getting the money. For usage.
And then the timing. Because it is important. Are you going to use debt financing within this period, or you are going into equity financing? When do you expect to receive it? That's the timing. Because the timing is also important. So you can now decide, you say, you can forecast, build your financial model for 6 months. So, what does the financial model involve? We are looking at the cash inflows, and our cash inflows, we are looking at our earnings.
How you do earn as a person?
As an organization.
As an organization.
Because you know very well what has been your sources of income. Sales, Then well, before the lockdown, you had some money on account. Then which money are you expecting from your receivable people? You had already given products on credit. Have they started to pay small portions or they have not? You get? Have you tried to go extra mile and look for donations and look for contributions? We shall see when we are trying to draft. But before you go to that of analyzing the cash inflows and outflow, you are supposed to first analyze the financial questions or to draft the assumptions. Because these assumptions that helps you to answer the financial questions and the financial decisions are the one that guides you in developing, in coming up with a new model.
You assume on how you're going to get.
How are you go, if you are talking of revenue, you are analyzing. You are, remember, you are not earning. Most of the organizations they are closed. If now we take examples of the universities and secondary schools and other schools, the primary schools.
But those ones are not closed by will. You mean those that are still paying?
They are not in business currently because they are under lockdown.
But they have to pay again.
They not paying again, but we shall see if now the students are currently they are in lockdown. We expect not those students to be paying on your account. You get? There could be few students that can pay currently. But remember, your organization, you have not decided to liquidate or to sell. We are looking at how can you plan to ensure that you survive within and then after. Because after this period or this crisis, again managing this organization is going to be hard. Currently people, if you have closed your business, it becomes easy because you have informed people you have closed. But managing after the closure, that's the new model we are looking at. How are you going to develop the new model that can enable you succeed within this period and then after? So I was telling you that these financial questions that you are going to see, which questions can you ask yourself and answer them, will be the one that guides you in drafting the model. Because the model first answer the financial questions and the financial decisions. So let us first go through some of the financial questions that you expect managers to analyze before we go to see how practically can you draft it.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So the first question now you are supposed to ask yourself, have you evaluated your revenue?
Evaluation of revenue.
Or evaluated of revenue at risk based. On assessment of the ongoing project if you have them. How do you assess the revenue risk based? Let us give an example of schools that they had remained, the lockdown came abruptly, no one had prepared.
5 months now.
Yes. And the students have gone, or they were expecting money to finance their businesses from the clients. Do you know that they may not receive how much they have been expecting from what? From students.
Yeah, because some are going to drop out.
Hey, you get? It's going to be worse. So as you are drafting a new mode of operation, have you considered the risk that I've been expecting 10 billion from my clients? It could not be schools alone.
But now because of such kind of problems,
because of the crisis that is there, because also your customers, they're in crisis.
Deal.
How have you analyzed to see that how much you're expecting from them could be half, and how is the half going to impact your operations? You get me? So that question should be answered. How you have taken the risk, I've assessed the risk and no, I could receive less, even 50 or 25%. Then what comes next? If you analyze that one, it will be easier for you when we are drafting out, developing our model to see areas where we are going to reduce the expenses. You get it? Then the second question could be, on the first question, we have said on assessment of the ongoing project. You're analyzing the revenue on a risk-based, but you're assessing also the ongoing project. We had some organizations already, they were in construction.
Because they're expecting more.
They're expecting to receive more sales, they are constructing, or they are purchasing more plants and machineries. If it's a school, they are constructing hostels. Currently, it can't work. Because now,
you're not sure.
You are not sure. Either you have been projecting that you will receive more students, currently, do you know that you are going to receive more?
Yeah, true.
So it becomes now easy for you now to first assess, to put your projects on hold.
So that you first have a clear vision.
How am I going to? Because if you have a clear vision, then we shall see when we are drafting our financial model, what could be done on such projects. You get? Then the second question could be, have you assessed, evaluated, or analyzed the revenue backlog using the collective agreement with your clients?
What is that backlog?
Backlog, now remember, I'm giving an example of students that in fact they went when they have not finished semester, this semester 2.
Semester 2, the last semester.
And already we have entered in another academic year. They have not completed
The
the other semester. They are not paid. So we expect them, as they see lockdown is done, they will come back. They don't have money to clear the outstanding.
And they have to go.
To go back and then, you get me? And then they report. It means a student, if he had 2 million as an outstanding, will end up having 5 million. But for you as an organization, you are expecting money from how?
Because you are willing they must pay what they were supposed to pay.
But this is not the reality now. Because if you are expecting 2 million, you end up now student coming and say, I've managed to pay 220,000 and I'm requesting you to sit for exams. That's why now we see that the organization should now first analyze the productive agreement with the clients to enhance the service delivery and the continuous billing. You see that there will be continuous billing of your clients, but there are smaller amounts that you could be expecting from them, which has not been the usual, or it has not been the practice. For you now, other organizations have said it is a zero balance policy.
You don't have to sit for any paper.
Yes. Now currently it will not work. Now let us give an example. You have been selling products. Could be the same customers as you went in the lockdown. You had sold the products on credit and they have not cleared their bills. You get me? But now, as you want the continuity of business, you are still giving them on credit. So there is a backlog.
I understand.
The credit is just accumulating, but you need to see, how am I going to... Have you assessed that you may not receive all?
It is possible.
It is possible. Then after analyzing, what could be the way out? It means you are going to change everything. You are going to change your policies, the way you have been managing your receivables.
Modus operandi.
You are going to change the strategic plans you had. You get me? Such that we see when we start drafting our new model of operation, that's the financial model. Already you have the answers. Then the second one could be, have you revisited or evaluated your financial forecasts or financial plans and you compare it with the current situation? It is another question. Because now we are looking at, you had budgeted to spend what before the COVID?
On what?
On what? Is it possible?
Do you have the finance?
Yes. Because if you cannot have that question and it is not answered, at the end you are going to be in trouble. Before, during, and then what? After. So we're expecting that now you adjust your budget, you adjust your financial plan, make an assessment of the balance scorecard measurements to ensure that maybe if it has not been an academic institutions, the way you have been teaching can need to apply. The same methods you have been using. Lecturers goes in the lecture rooms, teachers delivers. Is it possible? You have been having how many shares? The ratio now. Can they now the materials you have, the assets you have to handle? Because if they say they say this social distancing, you have enough rooms.
SOPs, standard operation procedures.
Are you able to meet them? So those now we are seeing now comparing the focus you have made earlier with the current what situation. Then the second one could be, the fourth one could be, do you have any current invoices of the suppliers that's not due and can be put on hold?
Those that are demanding you some money for the work they did for you.
But do you have some you can put on hold? Because now let us give an example of the cleaning services, the utilities.
Master cleaners.
And remember, they are continuously supplying us, giving us electricity since March.
Wi-Fi,
internet. Do you have money to meet all those costs? Or you are not just analyzing, you say at this time let me pay this much. I put hold on this man. Because now currently you could be now in August. Do you have money to pay for June and July?
No.
Already you have accumulated debts from March. Even February, other before them, they have not cleared December or January. So at the end of the year, they will be in debts. So at this time, you could be now going, what could be the implication? Then another question could be, do you have assessed the possibility of deferring some costs? And have you put into consideration the penalties clauses? Because you may defer not to pay in time. Also the supplier say, I'm going to court. I'm going to give you a fine for not clearing what? In the time. For you are saying now I'm going to court. So you are supposed now to ensure that you assess the risk implication of deferring the payments. I will not pay electricity. Have you negotiated with them?
Or you talk to them, give them a call, meet the manager. Have you negotiated
and you have a contract agreement? Then next could be, have you assessed or evaluated the construction risks that may be related to the deferred payment? Because we may end up other people, because they had a running contract, and for you have not informed them officially in writing, even having minutes attached that one day, one time we.
Maybe they can reflect.
And then you draft another contract. So let us just like 10 questions, because they could be developing a model. It is a full book. So let us just analyze the few questions, then we go to how can we practically develop that model.
True.
Then another one could be, have you prioritized your business areas, and you see areas where you can just hire only staff.
Critical staff. Essential staff.
You get? Because currently we are looking at, maybe you can say in this area I'm going just to hire, instead of having permanent workers.
On contract.
If you have just staff on contract 3 years and you are saying, let me just hire for a week or a month. But after that one, have you assessed the legal implication of temporarily suspending or freezing the hiring of employees? Because you may be just asking, I will not hire this, and you have not assessed the implication. Again, it impacts your service what? Service delivered. Then lastly could be, if you are thinking of terminating, have you assessed the legal implication?
And they're going to court?
Because we expect those ones to come after. Now staff, because as you know now, there are many firms, clients also, they are not employed.
They are waiting.
One who comes with a claim and say, now I want to complain about, I was terminated, my contract was terminated, I want so I can be compensated. For you took a decision without assessing the legal implication, you are tampering with people's salaries. Can you redesign another contract and you agree with the staff? Then after analyzing all those questions, because every question must have at least an assessment, detailed assessment.
Within.
Then we shall go, how then developing our model, based on the question we have analyzed. So in developing our model, we want now to analyze how much are we expecting to receive. Already we have analyzed, we have assessed the question of the risk.
Now
revenue-based.
Now the next step.
So we are now on answering, how can we develop our model? Developing our model, we are looking at our cash inflows and the cash what? Cash outflows for 6 months. Let us say we are analyzing from June to December. And we are expecting maybe the lockdown to end in December. So what do you do here practically? Get your expected income. That's the expected inflows. Expected inflows, how do you analyze the expected inflows? We said we will start with our cash we had. Do you have any money on account?
Then are you expecting to get some money?
Yes. Then from there, when we were saying, why you had 200,000 on your account, what next? Do you expect any debtors to pay? Those people already you had given products on what? On credit. If you have given out products on credit, how much do you expect? Because remember already you have answered the question of the financial risk, revenue collection.
Yeah.
You get? Then after knowing that, no, I'm expecting this much. Now currently you can see, how can you determine how much you're expecting a month? You can use the actual figures. For example, if it is a school or in a business, how much are you collecting monthly from your debtors? Because these people you can see on your account how much is going on your account. You are being demanding 5 people. Who is managing to pay at least what? Some money. If there is nothing going on, that one will leave. It means there is no expected income within that line. Then cash, we look at yourselves. If you are selling products.
Cash outflow?
No.
Inflow?
Inflows. What are you selling within this
period?
Crisis. If it is a university, do you have an application that you are selling and there's some money coming in? Or there are some students already you are admitting and they are paying?
In advance?
In advance. Are they there? Then you analyze how much are you collecting monthly from that line. Then from there you look at other areas of other incomes. Is there any donation you have got?
From sympathizers?
From sympathizers. Or have you got any contribution from the owners or board of directors or the different council authorities? It could be now like a university. For example, have you got any contribution from council?
Or IC?
Or IC. If it is no business, do you have any contribution from the owner of the business? Because there must be board of directors. You may be the manager and the same time the board of director. So how much do you expect to reinvest
in a business?
In a business again? Because if you want it or what, you must have a solution. You must have a recovery plan for the what? For the business. The business are not going to remain to operate as they have been what? Operating. You must have at least some monies do you expect to get and reinvest what? Back in what? In your business. So after analyzing all of those, you can know how much do I have. That's why we say the sources and the timing. Because in our sources, those are our sources. We're expecting this, we're expecting this. Then the timing, when? We are drafting our business model. When do you expect when do you expect to receive it? Don't just put, I expected money from, a contribution from Mr. Fan. When?
When is it going to give me money?
When is Mr. Fan posting money on this account? Mr. Fan told me in October.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So when you are budgeting, you are involving your cash flow or model. Put that amount you expect from Mr. Fan in October. Don't again put it in June when Mr. Fan said he's expecting money from October. Then after there, we start now analyzing. We're in just 1 month. You analyze the expected what? You analyze the expected costs. Because now we are trying to see that our income is mirrors what?
Yeah.
The costs.
The costs, yeah.
For more than 6 months and a year, and we see whether we're in a deficit or we can, or we are going just to close the business. You get me?
Right.
So, on analyzing our expenses as we have finished the income with just 1 month, and you have got already the total for those incomes. For example, now if you have added all those contributions and cash at hand or cash at the bank, you have 1 million. Then expenses. How are we going to analyze our expenses within that tool we are using as our forecast? Look at the essential costs now. Because costs, cash outflow, we are looking at where can money go out within this COVID-19 and after. Staff expenses, exactly where? Are you going to pay salaries? Which percentage? Because already you have answered the question.
Yeah,
the question we had on the
initial stage.
The initial stage. If you have not answered that question, it means you are going to go wrong. Because in answering the question of the contractual obligations of terminating staff, already you know how much we expect to pay.
Yeah.
Don't just risk and predict figure without answering the financial or the assumptions you have said. Most of the questions we have ironed out. So after understanding the staff costs, you go to the contractual obligations you have. You assess the utilities, how much do you expect to pay within that month. Already you have analyzed the question. We talked about the filing the payments.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
So in this filing the payments, already you have ascertained how much am I going to pay in June for only utilities.
Under the quality of negotiation.
Already you have negotiated with the suppliers. Already you have seen those suppliers that you can defer. Because here on payment of the suppliers, we expect at least 3 things. You are going to negotiate with the supplier, whether to reduce on the price or to defer payment.
Okay.
Then you are going to select the critical costs.
So that you're able to
manage very well. Say this one I will not be able to handle. So which financial decision do you expect to under this area of cost management?
That is the same question we're going to start on part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for being part of this Connected Balige Afana Fund. We've tackled how should really these organizations do what?
Remain visible.
Remain visible during the crisis. Mr. Gida, say your last words, then we come back in part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh no, let me just conclude on these decisions. How do you see? Oh, we'll go exactly in part 2.
It will come in part 2.
Okay, thank you. Let us wait just for the part 2.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Naluga Mariam and I'm a nursing student at IUIU Females Campus Kavoja. Fellow ladies, if you want to join me in the next academic year, please apply online for August and September intake in Diploma in General Nursing and Midwifery and Certificate in General Nursing and Midwifery and Extensional Programs. Visit our website at www.iuiu.ac.ug or send your results on our WhatsApp number 0704 74 13 69. Please stay safe. IUIU Females Campus Kavoja, a home away from home. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Balige Afana Fan and you're welcome to connect with Balige Afana Fan. We're in our second session, part 2 of our financial decision management stuff. You know, I told you about the issue of cash, accountability, accounts, everything. You know, you talk figures. And when you talk figures, it means you have to be very keen. Now, we were looking at the decisions
that we expect now to take
exactly
on managing our costs.
Yes.
That we're going to fit in our financial model.
Yeah, our model.
Remember, we are developing
in the crisis.
So developing, people should not forget that our major concern was how are we going to develop the model, the new model of operation,
so that you can remain with that stamina.
Financially visible within and then after. So the financial decision is now we expect in line of the cost management. 1, what are you going to deny in line with the costs? 2, what are you going to delay? And what are you going to invest? Those are now the 3 decisions we expect managers now to concentrate on. Because remember, all organizations, they are looking in all angles to say what am I going to reduce? So, on the cost of knowing what am I going to say no, this one will not pass within this period. Because it is a rational decision that managers now need to concentrate on. After analyzing your operation the way it has been and comparing it with the current situation. What are you going to deny? Completely to say this no longer apply this COVID-19 or even after. Then the second question, the second decision was to what am I going to delay in payment.
In payment.
So
are we stopping basing, you know, I think that is based on priority.
You have to prioritize. So what am I going to delay? What could be the first one to be paid and the second are like that? Because it will depend on how essential the cost is and the way you have negotiated with your suppliers. Okay? Have you agreed with your suppliers? So after knowing what am I going to delay, should you have the list and you have edged them that this one will be paid on this month, this one is paid in your model, because already you have analyzed the model of operation. It becomes easier to know that I'm paying the water bills for June in July. For July we paid in what? in June. Because already you know in June what are you expecting to receive. Is there anything? Because you cannot put the expenditure which is a bit high in the month where you don't expect money. You get me?
That will be a wrong decision.
A wrong decision. Because you know that very well you receive money when students are reporting.
Because they're your clients.
And your clients. Then again you know which cost can I pay in between here. And then you defer what? Already you have answered the question. Then the last decision was, what are you going to invest in? Because managers should put their emphasis on now investment decision currently. Where are you going to invest your money? The little you are disabled. Because all projects now are not visible operating. We must know where am I going to invest currently. If you don't make an assessment in that angle, looking at the payback period, for example, those ones that are going for investment to see that they generate their cash flow inflow in a time, can you analyze the payback period to see when can that project give you back the initial investment?
Yeah.
So, if you don't do that within this period, at the end you are going to take a longer decision. You start constructing a building because you are expected to receive more students. At the end you receive few. But when you had incurred costs from the suppliers,
expecting more.
Hey, supplier already they are demanding money on that building. But for you, are they expected your cash inflow to come from that construction?
Because you're expecting many students.
Hey, for you have been expectant, you produce more because of the demand, but the demand has reduced for your products. So it could be the decision that we expect managers to understand now. That is it.
During the process of making the model.
Hey.
Okay, fine. We are still on connection with Badige Afan, but you know, sometimes you have to take wise decisions, especially the managers and the people that are really much into transacting business, and even it's like they have given example of schools. I've seen very many schools closing. Yeah, there's someone told me a story that teachers were complaining about salary, and the headmaster came. He told them that you should occupy different classes, senior 1, senior 2.
You are being chased from the houses.
From the houses.
Hey.
So you can occupy classes. When president allows us to study, then that means you go back to your...
It means the headmaster was wise. And he took a right decision. Because now, he had analyzed that he doesn't have the finances to give back up to what? To the staff. And he decided to say now the staff, occupy the classrooms. You reside there, who wants P1, who wants P2, P3.
Financial reconciliation.
Then after, if you resume operating, you go back and you start renting.
Renting again.
It was a right decision taken at the right time.
Secondly, if you are willing to be part of the successful community, then that means you have to look no further than Islamic University in Uganda, Females Campus, Kaboja, where we have people with brains. Is a teacher, you're a teacher, a lecturer. You're a lecturer. You lecture which?
I'm an accountant by profession, but I lecture part-time.
Which
in areas of financial management and all accounting papers.
Only that?
All accounting papers. There are many accounting papers and many areas of financial management papers. There are very many.
I shouldn't say only that.
You don't say only that. Because it is those are full courses. People specializing in accounting, specializing in finance.
Meaning
so I'm expert in those areas.
Meaning there are many. I have a petty question for you. Someone was asking me about the issue of saving in the bank. It's not part of the discussion, but it's a petty question that you can also answer, that we can really get to see the right picture. Someone was asking me about the point of saving in the bank. She was like, why do people save their money in the bank? And how do banks gain from those people that are saving their money? One, she had a local explanation, saying that if I keep my money in the bank, those people are going to use my money, and for me I will be there taking my money to the bank for them to utilize that money, and they get other money. So that you call them profits. They get profits, and me, I will be here waiting. Yet I can also use my money. What is your perception of people really depositing money in the bank?
It is not bad, because now the reason why you take something you cannot use currently to another person, it means you don't you have no control over it. You have control over it, but you see there is a risk remaining with that money, or you use it for other purposes. That's why they introduced banks. Because remember, before banks coming in, people were keeping their money at home, having sacks of money. And you know what money creates?
In the garden,
locally.
See your type?
It creates evils. Get? So there were many criminal cases rising out of robbery and many things. So it is easy if you don't have what to use money currently, and you deposit yourself with the bank, because it is safe.
It is safe in the bank.
In the bank. Anytime you want it, you go to the bank and you remove it.
I think you've just explained as an accountant, not as a local.
No, if you have investments, it is two-way. If you have a running business that needs capital, I don't see why you invest. You keep your money with the bank. You get? If you have where you can invest your money, for example, land, it is better that way. You have 2 million and you see that in 2 million you can buy a plot of what?
Of land.
Of land. It is better to invest in land than depositing 2 million what? On account.
But people see that if you invest in land and you're not going to use the land
appreciates every year.
That is invisible. People want to see visible profits.
Then if you want visible profits, don't invest in land.
Okay.
Go for other business, but people should know that every business has there are risks involved in every what? Business. And you cannot just start a business and you start getting abnormal profits. And you say, because you have seen Mr. Ziadi having a shop at Natet, and is benefiting, constructing, getting the profits, and you think he has just started. And also you go and dispose of land and you come and you start the same business. You start comparing yourself to Mr. Ziadi, who has operated for 5 years in the same business. You want to get the same profits, you will be wrong. Because even other people, they end up getting money from elsewhere. They put it back in what?
From the banks.
Yeah, you're getting loans from the bank, selling other things, and you invest in the business. So what I recommend, if you don't have any investment you want to start now, and you have your 2 million,
take the money to the bank.
Yes. And if you have any business that's running smoothly, why do you take the money to the bank? But also one time you will need the bank, because you have the money, you have accumulated the money.
Okay, thank you so much for being part of connecting with Balige Afan, and you know, I would love to remind you that we are still admitting students. If you want to join us, just go on any of our branches. Go at Kampala campus, pick forms. Go at Mbale campus, pick forms. Garoa campus, Kingford Plaza, our liaison office, and here at Females Campus, Kavoja. I told you we have very many courses, and we're still admitting until when the president says that maybe we're supposed to start studies on such and such a date. Behind the camera was MC Pilau and MC Pami of which media is that? It's called S Media, S Production Media. Thank you so much for doing a great job, and I pray that maybe Allah gives you more guidance and enlarge your capital, that you can really manage your media very well. And Mr. Ziad, thank you so much for being part of this. You are really a great person, and maybe I pray for you that you become successful in your field.
Already I'm successful.
Okay, more successful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Somebody msaja wa ama.
Hey, don't say that I'm not successful. Already I'm successful.
You're more. Okay, fine.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Naluga Mariam, and I'm a nursing student at IUIU Females Campus Kavoja. Fellow ladies, if you want to join me in the next academic year, please apply online for August and September intake in Diploma in General Nursing and Midwifery and Certificate in General Nursing and Midwifery and Extensional Programs. Visit our website at www.iuiu.sc.ug or send your results on our WhatsApp number 0704 74 13 69. Please stay safe. IUIU Females Campus Kavoja, a home away from home. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.